Now, despite the extension of the ceasefire by 45 days, Israel-Lebanon conflict continues to claim lives. Israel has unleashed massive strikes across the south of Lebanon, saying it aims to target Iran-backed Hezbollah in the region. The U.S. State Department had described the Israel-Lebanon talks as highly productive, adding that discussions aimed at reaching a long-term political agreement would resume on June 2nd and 3rd. But the latest strikes threaten that plan. More in this next report.
A fragile ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon is still in place. It was even extended for 45 days. But the fighting in Lebanon is far from over. Israeli airstrikes continue to batter southern and eastern Lebanon. The strikes have prompted Hezbollah to label Lebanon's negotiations with Israel a dead end. Hezbollah lawmaker Hussein Haj Hassan says the talks had led Lebanon down a dead-end path and warned against efforts to disarm the group. Israeli strikes soon followed a third round of talks between Israel and Lebanon in Washington, D.C. Both sides agreed to extend the ceasefire, but fighting continues as Israeli forces and Hezbollah continue to trade fire. And the Lebanese government says over 2,900 people have been killed since the war began. In Lebanon's southern city of Tyre, a column of smoke was seen rising into the air after the latest Israeli strikes. Israel says it is targeting Hezbollah across Lebanon's south. The strikes were preceded by an evacuation warning covering 9 villages.
At the same time as the announcement of the truce extension, we were shocked by massive destruction in our village following the strike on a residential building inhabited by unarmed civilians. 2, the whole family, consisting of a father, a mother, and 2 children. Sadly, the parents were killed, while the children are in stable condition in the hospital.
Despite the extension of the ceasefire, Lebanon's state-run national news agency has reported strikes on more than 24 villages, including one more than 50 kilometers from the border. It has also reported a new exodus of residents towards the southern city of Sidon and the capital Beirut. Many residents who have been displaced from the south remain skeptical of the ceasefire extension between Lebanon and Israel.
What kind of truce is this? They're issuing warnings for all the villages and people are fleeing. What kind of truce is this? Where is the government? We stand only with the resistance, nothing else.
First of all, extending the truce is not in the interest of any Lebanese citizen. Why? Because first, we haven't returned to our villages. As you can see, we're still staying in this school.
As fighting continues, Hezbollah says it has struck a military target in northern Israel. This is after having announced multiple operations against Israeli forces in southern Lebanon. Israel's military says that one of its soldiers died in combat in southern Lebanon, bringing its losses to 21 personnel since the war with Hezbollah began in early March. Despite both countries agreeing to a truce during talks in Washington, D.C., uncertainty hovers over the US-mediated ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, with no relief seen across any side of the border. Bureau Report, WION. World is One.
And joining us live from Ireland is Mr. Scott Lucas. He's a professor of international politics at the Clinton Institute in the University College of Dublin. Professor, thank you very much for your time and joining us at this hour. The optics don't look that great for the United States and Israel when it comes to the talks between Hezbollah and Israel. And again, they're declaring truces and peace talks, and on the ground, it is so different. What do you think is wrong here?
Well, I think first an important clarification is that the talks are between representatives of the Israeli government and the Lebanese government, not Hezbollah. Hezbollah have refused to be part of these talks, and I doubt the Israelis would talk to Hezbollah at this point. Why do I mention that? The outcome of that is that we do not have a full ceasefire. We have a ceasefire in the sense that Israel is limiting its strikes, say, on the area of Beirut and in central and northern Lebanon. But as your correspondent in that excellent summary put it forward, Israel is effectively still continuing a war on southern Lebanon arguing that they have to remove Hezbollah, and Hezbollah is continuing with strikes on Israeli positions in southern Lebanon and indeed in northern Israel. The fact here is that despite that alleged 45-day extension of the ceasefire on Thursday, almost immediately the Israelis carried out a wave of strikes that killed family members, as you just heard. They also killed 6 people, including 3 paramedics, within hours of that supposed ceasefire being declared, and they destroyed more homes.
Professor, if I can come in here and just ask this question. Both sides are accusing each other of violating the truce and violating the peace talks. Lebanon still insists that once President Trump declared that the truce has been extended, Israel began striking Lebanon first. Now, this blame game has been going on for quite a long time now, and the Lebanese are siding with Hezbollah. If you speak to them, they will say they do not trust the government, they trust Hezbollah.
Well, I've been fortunate to work in Lebanon. In fact, I'm saddened because I love the country very much. But you have this wide range of opinion where many Lebanese will be opposed to Hezbollah, but many will support them. But I think probably the easiest way for me to analyze this is to get to a couple of fundamentals. One is that Hezbollah is not going to disband as an organization, that the Lebanese government is not in a position to make Hezbollah disband. And the second is whether it's to actually force Hezbollah to disband or whether it's using that as an excuse. The Israeli objective is the occupation, the long-term occupation of southern Lebanon, whether that's 10 kilometers deep inside the country, whether it's 30 kilometers deep inside the country up to the Litani River, we'll see. But just as the Israelis now are in long-term occupation of almost 60% of Gaza, they are trying to do the same with Lebanon. So all this ceasefire is accomplishing, I think, is probably a partition of Lebanon, a split of Lebanon, with the Israelis occupying the south for the indefinite future, even if we do get a halt to the fighting.
All right, Professor, finally, I just want to know from you, will it be so hard to disarm Hezbollah? Because that has been a clarion call both from Israel and also the United States.
Hezbollah, and we can argue about its objectives, we can argue about what it does in terms of the violence against Israeli forces. Hezbollah is part of Lebanon. It is part of Lebanese society. It is part of Lebanese culture. It has been since it was created in the 1980s. At times, it has been part of the Lebanese government. So the idea that you were simply going to get rid of Hezbollah as a force, it's not going to work that way. I mean, if we were in a sensible, approach here would be to try to integrate Hezbollah into the Lebanese nation. That means integrating Hezbollah fighters into the Lebanese army. It means integrating Hezbollah into Lebanese society and culture even more than it is. But that's not going to be possible while Israel is carrying out a war that threatens to split the country. Because as you noted, it means that people do not see the issue of integration being foremost. They see the question of just simply surviving, both their survival and of Hezbollah, as being the priority.
Professor Lucas, it's good to see you. We'll have to end this discussion here. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thanks to you and your viewers.